Did you know that you could potentially reverse your biological age by up to 30 years simply by adjusting your diet? Today, we're delving into the groundbreaking research of Harvard PhD Dr. David Sinclair. We'll uncover his top 5 foods to avoid, explore the power of eating less often and exercising strategically, and learn how specific foods can protect your cells from the inside out. This isn't just about looking younger, it's about feeling your best and lowering your risk for age-related diseases. So, if you are ready to take control of your health span, keep watching. Our modern lifestyles, with constant snacking and processed foods, are sabotaging our cells. But Dr. Sinclair's work offers a path back to the way our bodies were designed to function. Dr. Sinclair's research emphasizes that eating less often is a cornerstone of slowing down, even reversing biological aging. Think of your cells as having a janitorial crew that works best when it's not constantly bombarded with trash, aka food. As Dr. Sinclair explains,
your clock is ticking faster by always being fed.
Reducing the number of times you eat activates a process called autophagy, where cells recycle damaged components, promoting overall better health.
So there's a system called the autophagy system, which digests old and misfolded proteins in the body. And there's a natural cleansing that happens when you're hungry. Macroautophagy, its name is.
Now, you might be thinking about the hunger pangs that come with eating less. Dr. Sinclair suggests drinking plenty of fluids and incorporating foods like nuts, which provide small amounts of protein to curb hunger.
I'm just keeping myself filled with liquids, and so I don't feel hungry. Beware that the first 2 to 3 weeks when you try that, you will feel hungry, and you also have a habit of wanting to chew on something. There's a lot of physical parts to it, but try to make it through the first 3 weeks and do without breakfast or do without dinner.
Remember, those short hunger breaks between meals are actually beneficial, as they trigger a process called gluconeogenesis. This is where your liver starts producing its own sugar to maintain your metabolism, helping overcome hunger and supporting the anti-aging benefits of less frequent eating. However, eating less frequently is only part of Dr. Sinclair's approach for reversing his biological age. Your cells don't care about how you look in genes, but they react strongly to signals that you need to be in peak condition. The kind of slightly breathless activities our ancestors experienced while surviving triggers the production of NAD+, a molecule critical for cellular repair. Dr. Sinclair emphasizes that any activity that gets you moving is beneficial, but short bursts of intensity seem to offer extra anti-aging benefits. Dr. Sinclair emphasizes that any activity that takes you out of your comfort zone and gets your muscles moving is beneficial.
And that's get off your butt.
Just get off your butt.
Yeah, it's not that hard, as we say sitting here doing this podcast. But one way I do it is I have a standing desk.
Sitting too much is harmful, leading to muscle loss, which impacts hormone levels and overall health. But getting up and moving, whether it's dedicated exercise or simply being more active, can prevent diseases and slow down aging.
That if you disrupt the NAD cycle, which is controlled by the sirtuin gene that we worked on, that is what's telling your body, oh, it's time to eat, it's time to go to sleep.
Enough to leave you slightly breathless, appears to offer significant long-term benefits. While overdoing it can cause strain, the right amount of exertion, even triggering a bit of beneficial oxygen depletion known as hypoxia, builds strength and improves blood flow, both key for slowing down the aging process. We've talked about eating less often and the importance of exercise. Now, let's dive into the specific foods that can supercharge your anti-aging efforts. Polyphenol. These plant compounds are like armor for your cells. Dr. Sinclair highlights how resveratrol, found in red wine, along with other polyphenols, seems to mimic the beneficial stress of fasting, a concept he calls xenohormesis. They activate powerful pathways in your cells that boost repair and combat the damage that contributes to aging. While all foods offer some nutrients, Dr. Sinclair emphasizes the power of plants for longevity. He believes a diet rich in colourful plant-based foods is key, as they're packed with polyphenols. Think bright red berries, dark purple grapes, deep green vegetables like spinach and kale, even olives and beans. These foods trigger your body's natural cellular stress response in a beneficial way, promoting health and slowing down aging processes. Dr. Sinclair even enjoys green tea for its polyphenol boost.
What the data says, which I try to follow, is that plant-based foods will be better than meat-based foods. And I know that there are a lot of people who disagree. There's a few facts. One is that people who live a long time tend to eat those type of diets, Mediterranean, Okinawa diet.
Now, let's talk about the 5 foods you should avoid to reserve biological aging. Number 5. Sugar and refined carbohydrates. Sugar and refined carbs fuel a cascade of problems, from blood sugar chaos to formation of AGEs, gunk that stiffens your tissues. Dr. Sinclair warns that constant sugar overload triggers inflammation and speeds up aging. He even says blood sugar is the best predictor of how long you'll live. Cut the processed sugar, limit natural ones, and opt for whole grains instead.
First thing I cut out was a lot of carbohydrates. I used to eat bread every day.
Well, the big killer is sugar.
I'm just keeping myself filled with liquids, and so I don't feel hungry.
Number 4. Processed meats. Processed meats are loaded with harmful additives, plus nitrates used as preservatives can damage your DNA. This, along with their high saturated fat content, fuels inflammation and raises your risk for serious diseases. Dr. Sinclair avoids meat, especially red meat, due to these health concerns.
If I try to overeat on a steak, which I did a couple of days ago, for 2 days I felt terrible. I couldn't sleep, it wouldn't go down.
Focus on plant-based protein, or at least swap processed meat for lean options like fish or poultry. But hidden dangers lurk elsewhere too. Trans fats are some of the worst offenders. Number 3. Trans fats. These unnatural fats disrupt cell membrane function, promoting inflammation and hindering cellular repair. Read labels carefully and ditch anything containing partially hydrogenated oils. Focus on the good fats that your cells love: olive oil, avocados, and nuts. Having examined the detrimental effects of trans fats, let's now turn our attention to Dr. Sinclair's dietary exploration involving the exclusivity of dairy. Number 2. Dairy. In an experimental move to gauge its impact, Dr. Sinclair has eliminated dairy from his diet. This action has resulted in a significant reduction in his protein intake. He believes that this reduction has led to a deceleration of a cellular pathway associated with aging, known as mTOR. Interestingly, this pathway is also influenced by rapamycin, a compound renowned for its longevity-promoting effects. Dr. Sinclair takes a surprisingly strict stance on something many think is harmless in moderation.
And then the third change was the dairy. I did that just to see what would happen. I figured it wouldn't matter. I'm not allergic to dairy. I'm not lactose intolerant. But it did have an effect, made things even better.
Alcohol. Number 1. Excessive alcohol. Dr. Sinclair takes a cautious approach to alcohol. Studies, including from his own lab, suggest even moderate amounts can hamper sleep, which is vital for cellular repair and disrupts those NAD+ pathways essential for keeping your cells healthy. Limit yourself to the occasional drink, or try alcohol-free days. If you do drink, he suggests red wine with higher polyphenols, like Pinot Noir. This isn't about deprivation, it's about giving your body what it needs to thrive. Space out your meals, move your body regularly, prioritize those polyphenol-rich foods, and cut the aging accelerators. Could these simple changes add healthy, vibrant years to your life? That's what Dr. Sinclair's research suggests, and even if it's only a few amazing years, isn't that worth trying?